Hey, what's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing well. All right, so hopefully, this will be a nice, quick video. Basically, I've been getting a lot of emails lately, and also down in the comment section, I've got a lot of people asking certain questions. A lot of the new people that are just getting into prepping, and been watching a lot of the preparedness food videos that I've been doing in regards to prepper pantry, stuff like that. So I want to put something quick together on something that might be beneficial to those folks and possibly others. And basically, the bottom line of this video is, where do you start when you're trying to build a prepper pantry? Things to look for. There's a few key things that I feel that you should be looking for uh, when you go shopping. And this will help you kind of not get the wrong things per se, right? When you go shopping for your prepper pantry outside of your normal day-to-day shopping or week to week or month to month or whatever that you do for your shopping necessities, maybe this will help you find the foods that work best for you and your family when building a prepper pantry. There's going to be no frills, no bells and whistles to this video, just me talking to you and looking at my notes. So, the key part is when you're building an emergency food pantry, there's certain types of foods that when you go to the grocery store that you should look for. The biggest one is going to be the long shelf life. The longer the shelf life, the better, right? And a lot of people try to look at things like with freeze-dried foods, like your Augustin's Farms, your Nutrient Survivals, Ready Wise, Mountain House, all those things like that that have a huge amount of shelf life, as well as like things like MREs and whatnot. Because, like I said, your Augustin's Farms or your Nutrient Survival have anywhere from a 20 to 30 year shelf life on average, and then most of your MREs roughly are about 5 to 8 years. And some people try to match that shelf life, which can be done with things that I'm going to do some videos here down the road of how to store certain types of foods in certain containers and whatnot. But the main thing is you want to look for the canned good aisles and places like that, dry beans and certain things that have the longest shelf life, at least a minimum of a year. That's where you really want to focus on is longevity. When you first go to the store, that's what you want to pay attention to is longevity. Look at anything that at least has a shelf life of at least minimum of a year. Uh, because if you avoid that mistake, that's going to get you well on your way to getting a lot of shelf stable foods. Uh, and this includes all your different things. And we've gone over this many, many times. But, like I said, your dry beans, your wet beans, your canned goods, and so on and so forth. And that's the whole reason behind this video is because I'm getting a lot of questions in regards to those videos, positive questions, people that are, learning and want to be more educated in this. So first, the key thing is long shelf life. Try to find the longest shelf life of the foods that you're looking for on your list. And like I said, that's a huge thing is making a list. You guys know I am huge on lists, be it in my daily life, my pantry, everything. It keeps you somewhat more organized, even though sometimes we can get distracted. Another key component when you go shopping is things that are easy to store. That's another huge thing when you're looking for foods to put in your prepper pantry. You want to look for stuff like durable packaging. Let me see what else, like solid canned goods or box in certain times. But if you have box goods, you kind of want to be a little bit more, I guess, vigilant in the way you store them and how you store them, and if you can transfer them into something that's a little bit more durable. Basically, have you ever looked at a bag of potato chips and the packaging that they come in? It's very thrown together. It's it's horrible. And there's a lot of other foods out there like that, and things that are just wrapped in plastic, things that will probably fail and not stand the test of time. I'm trying to think of. Also, you want to avoid certain food. Now, I guess that this is going to be open to interpretation. I'm focusing on prepper pantry. I'm not focusing on frozen foods and whatnot like that because I avoid frozen foods in the aspect of that without power or electricity or some sort of form of something to keep that freezer going, those foods are going to go bad. So usually I avoid frozen foods, frozen meats and stuff like that, just due to the fact that if I'm without power, those things may go bad. Now, some people have the understanding of how to preserve those foods outside of their freezer. Matter of fact, I think I've done a video on that, how to preserve meats and other things if without your nicety of a refrigerator or a freezer. But that's what I look for. Is I look for things that are basically the packaging is extremely durable, preferably like a canned goods. You've seen me buy stuff like, the what's it called? Yeah, it's coming to me. It's coming to me. Great. You don't have to cut this video just yet. Uh, but the bone broth that comes in these boxes. But if you look in the inside of them, they're kind of lined with foil and whatnot. And they have a pretty decent seal on them, depending on where you buy it from. But be careful on relying on electricity too much, because that's going to create an issue down the road, possibly, especially in most scenarios. Power is huge when it comes to your goods in your refrigerator or your freezer. Moving on to number 3, basically, is you also want to look at when you're doing your shopping is things that are easy to prepare. That could be in a range of different things, but think about it. You're putting yourself you're in an emergency situation, right? And you're relying on this food for you and your family. You may not have utilities, the things that make cooking easy, right? So a lot of folks favor foods that can be eaten as is. People talk about Spam or canned tuna, a can of beans, pork and beans, and stuff like that. Things that you can just open up and eat if you have to. Sure, it tastes better hot. Maybe you can throw something on a fire or whatnot, but you kind of get where I'm saying with that. You want to look at things that are easy to prepare, easy, fast, and quick. All right, and this will wrap up into the whole thing. I'm trying to think about stuff that has like basic necessities like of reheating, because let's say that you're trying to heat things on a fire versus heating things on a stove. If you're looking to rehydrate certain types of foods, things that are easy to mix and match together with other ingredients, So let's go back to the old adage of rice and beans. Just because rice has the carbs and beans has the nutrient-dense proteins and other fibers and stuff like that in there. So that's a big, huge thing is when you're looking at this, you want to find things that, are really easy for you to prepare because you don't want to spend hours on end trying to put a meal together for your family during an emergency situation. This leads me into my next part of this is nutrition. Something you want to really look at is nutritional value in the foods that you're buying. Not everything needs to be super healthy in that aspect, but because you have to figure you have your comfort foods, which are great to have, and they can become extremely valuable in a time of crisis. But you don't want to make things really bad by living off junk food. Nothing but empty calories and sugars, all that stuff like that. Makes me think of what was that movie, Zombieland, with the Twinkies. But anyways, you kind of get where I'm saying that. You want to look at the nutritional value of what you're putting into your body during these troubling times in regards to if you're in an emergency crisis, you want the most nutrition you can get out of the foods that you have in your pantry, which is going to lead me into the next part of this, which is calorie density. So with nutrition, you want things that are calorie dense. Calorie density, and that's why if you look at freeze-dried foods, that's why what sets nutrient survival outside of some of the rest is for freeze-dried foods, nutrient survival has a lot of calorie-dense foods where you get a lot of the vitamins and nutrients that you need. And I guess we can call this a shameless plug, but I do have a nutrient survival affiliate link down in the description that folks are more than welcome to use to save a little bit off their products. But you guys know I'm also huge into Augustin's Farms. I'm not part of them. I don't have an affiliate link for them, but they have great, ingredient-based products, I like a lot of their stuff, like their freeze-dried peanut butters. And I'm looking over because I have some over there sitting there, but, they're eggs and whatnot. Anyways, how do I go into calorie density? Basically, it's going to give you more more bang for your buck, per se, right? Other than specific types of foods. And the reason being is because this becomes a problem with a lot of folks. People ask me, you have limited amount of space in your prepper pantry. If you're living in an apartment, you might only have so much room. So you need things to last long. You need things to be extremely durable. You need things that are easy to prepare, and you need things that are nutritional and calorie dense. You don't want to have a bunch of random stuff that, that holds no nutritional value. You know what I mean? That's taking up space in your emergency pantry. So that is a huge thing. And those are, to me, some of these key points when you go shopping to build an emergency prepper pantry. Some of the things you should be looking at. Now, one that I want to add to this is dietary restrictions. There's a lot of folks out there that have either allergic to nuts, they're lactose intolerant, they have whatever they call it, gluten allergies or whatever that these folks may have. You may want to keep that in mind when you're shopping for yourself or your family. You have to think, in emergency, it's really not the best thing to do is be picky, to be honest with you. But it's okay to avoid foods that your family either universally hates or they have some sort of really bad allergies to it, because the last thing you want to do is incorporate some sort of issue where they have a nut allergy and then you have a bad situation on your hand. And also, people have specific types of faith. Some people won't eat pork or won't do this or can't eat that for whatever religious reasons. So you may want to also keep that in mind, depending if you're prepping for yourself or your family as well. Maybe you have someone in your family that has a different belief view than you, and only eats certain things. Now, like I said, this is being more picky about things, because when it comes to survival, food is food at one point or another. But if you can set yourself up to succeed other than setting yourself up for failure, that is the best option. I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to add to this, because unless you've ever starved, which most people in the U.S., the majority, don't get me wrong, there's folks out there that have never really encompassed starvation. The way it makes you feel, the way it makes your body feel, the way it makes your mental health feel, it will do a lot of negative things to you, mentally and physically. I've talked to some folks that have lived in third world countries that have moved to the U.S. and explained to me what starvation feels like, because I can't begin to understand what they're coming from, but I've researched, read, and understand what happens to your body as it breaks down without food. And that's when people start doing crazy things, to the aspect of things that they would never, ever do in a normal day-to-day life. So when it comes to foods, I know some folks want to be picky. Some folks that have certain ailments like diabetes, they want to stay away from carbs and stuff like that. But in a survival situation, folks, you might have to put some of that to the side, because you may need to eat high caloric foods. So to me, that is just very important. So just to kind of follow up with what I just went through on my little quick what to look for when you're shopping is 1, long shelf life, 2, easy to store, 3, easy to prepare, 4, nutrition, 5, calorie density, and I guess you want to add 6, dietary restrictions. If you kind of incorporate that into your shopping list when you're, and this is outside of your normal day-to-day shopping. Of course, you're going to buy your normal foods that you cook, the normal things that you buy, but when you're trying to build a prepper pantry, I think these are some key elements here that may help you if you're new to prepping and you're trying to find a way to streamline the way that you shop to build this pantry out. Now, like I said, besides budget and space, you kind of want to look at that aspect as well. And that's why I think this list or this topic may help you. I'm trying to look if there's anything else that I wanted to go over real quick before I wrap this up. But, I think that about gives me the information that I want to relate to you folks out there. Like I said, a very quick, short video, I think. But all in all, hopefully that helps some of you folks out there in regards to what you need and what you should be looking for every time you go shopping, when you're trying to build your specifics in regards to a prepper pantry. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or leave something down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. We have a phenomenal community here with lots of suggestions and ideas as well. Now, they all might not work for you. Everybody has specific needs and space limitations and stuff like that, like I said earlier. But at least to give you a generalization on things that you should be kind of keeping an eye out for, and hopefully a bit helpful to you. Other than that, that's about wraps it up. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see everyone tomorrow around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live stream, Late Night with Grey. We got a few things to go over for. We got some stuff in the mail, a couple mistakes that I've made that I need to go over with you, and some things that are happening on the channel that I'd like to discuss. And man, today was a crazy day and all, but I'll share that with you folks tomorrow. Don't want to take up too much of your time today. All right, this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound. God bless and stay safe.